Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Howdy.
this week's... Oh, God damn it!
Well,
Okay. Well, as I was saying, welcome to this week's episode of the DoubleClutch.ca podcast. I'm your host, Nick, managing editor of DoubleClutch.ca magazine, and,
it's just me and Nick in the studio today,
yeah.
which is kind of a bummer because we got a lot to talk about.
We do. We honestly do. This is one of the rare weeks where we did a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, we had a couple of events, and we had some pretty cool press cars in the garage. And I know that Rush is pretty in love with his, so I'm going to try and
absolutely.
echo his thoughts.
Yeah.
Because he's spoken to me at length about it. He loves what he's driving. But,
To be fair, you've also stolen his press car for a couple of days, and you've driven it.
no, I haven't, actually. I just drove it today. But, like, in the short time I had it, I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrific. It's actually so good.
Yeah. Which is funny because you're getting the same truck next week, albeit with a different badge.
Let's stop teasing people.
Yes. Okay, so why don't we get into what sort of events we did this week?
Yeah, so
Nathan, what did you do yesterday?
Double Clutch were invited to Lamborghini's launch event of the 2025 Lamborghini Urus SE. SE. But they're very particular about pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
SE.
SE, not SE.
Yeah.
Even though the name
SE.
is literally
Yeah.
SE.
Urus SE.
Okay.
It is basically, and not to minimize the reference, but it visually is more or less the same Urus that we all know and may or may not love, with slightly rounded off edges.
I couldn't tell. Like, I honestly can't tell.
There is actually a visual difference. Like, it's the same platform, right? So it's still going to be very wide. It's still going to have the very broad shoulders and the same like tapered roof line, which I think looks like $1 million.
Yep.
I love it on the Audi Q8. Like the Q8 RS Q8, that looks so good with like that crazy wide just like stance. Oh, it looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still riding on that. Still looks like it's still immediately recognizable as an Urus. Just with like slightly softer edges, slightly softer lighting design. And this kind of complements the, in a way, slightly softer powertrain. And I say slightly softer because this thing now qualifies for green vehicle plates.
Oh, God.
Yep, and I've kind of ripped on this before.
Yep.
But it sort of makes sense for them to go in this direction with this product.
Yeah.
Their whole new shtick with the Urus SE is that it is a plug-in hybrid.
Okay.
So you have a 620 horsepower 4-liter twin-turbo V8
Okay.
that we've sampled in the RS6 Avant, and I think both you and I adore that engine.
Yes. You could say that.
Yep. And it is coupled to a 200-ish horsepower electric motor.
Okay.
So combined output, 800 horsepower and like, I forget, 700 foot-pounds of torque.
That's a lot of horsepower and torque.
That's a lot. This thing can boogie. We didn't drive it. It was just like a quick kind of like rip the covers off here, look at it event.
Yeah.
But like the previous gen drove great for what it was.
Yep.
And this has, like, we haven't driven a vehicle where like the hybrid electric torque fill in a performance application hasn't been fucking incredible. Like, not one.
That's true. That's true.
Like
my mind goes to the McLaren Artura, which is obviously not an SUV, but it's the same idea.
But the same idea.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's fucking brilliant. Like, genius.
Absolutely.
And also, like you know, the holy trinity of, like, hypercars, right? Your Porsche 918.
Yeah.
Your Ferrari LaFerrari sort of thing. Right? Like, where you're using the hybridization to enhance performance as opposed to just do efficiency.
Yes.
Right? Be the torque fill. Be the instantaneous shove.
Yeah.
While the turbos take, like, a half second to spool up. So I think for that product, it's actually, like, kind of genius. It's very perfect for that buyer, for that demographic. It's great.
It also kind of makes sense because, like, if you're buying an SUV like that, you're obviously concerned about your image.
Yep.
And what is more chic and cool and in vogue than plugging your vehicle in?
Exactly. Now you can say you're concerned about the planet, you're doing your part.
Exactly.
And it'll go, they say, I can't remember if it was just over or up to, in around 60 kilometers on electric power alone.
Okay, that's actually pretty good.
That's not nothing.
Like when you consider shit like the Tonale and the Hornet and whatnot, they kind of top out around 50 kilometers.
Yeah.
Like anything really above 60 is pretty decent. Like you could theoretically commute in that on one charge.
Exactly, right? Like my commute is 25 kilometers. I could go to and from work without starting the engine at any point. But you want to, because it's delicious.
Yes.
But you don't have to. Mm-hmm. Right? So like you could live like in the heart of downtown, not fire this thing up, quietly putz your kids to a fancy private school, and then fuck off out of town and light the afterburners and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Like that's the selling point of this thing.
Yeah.
Their whole shtick was, and like, okay, you and I have both been to a bunch of press events.
Yep.
Whenever they show like a video, a curated video, a marketing video, it's always like kind of eye-rolly.
Yep.
But like they brought up a point in this. Whoever wrote this was like onto something. Their whole thing was like, what if you had two hearts? Oh. And you could like turn one on and turn one off.
Okay.
Or run both.
Okay.
Sort of thing, right? What if you could like use two hearts to love more? It was like corny, but the core idea of having two hearts that you could like disengage.
Yeah.
Was like kind of a really interesting take on the whole plug-in hybrid thing.
Yeah. That's kind of
like
cool.
What if like one
really
side of you does this and the other side does that?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's actually kind of a cool idea.
Kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of a thing.
Yeah. And just like lean into it. Like, yeah, it is like it can be quiet and silent and smooth and like not use any CO2 and and also be an absolute fucking psychopath. Right? Like kind of neat idea. Yeah, I liked it. I think like the styling changes work. They're subtle, but there's enough to be like a differentiator. Like they are just like slightly softer, more curvaceous lines.
Yeah, it's enough to park up beside your neighbors and like say, "Oh, I got the new Urus.
I've got the new one. Watch while I plug it in.
Let's see you plug this one in."
That crowd is not buying this thing. Yeah. But yeah, I generally I like it. I think it makes sense.
When's it going on sale?
They didn't say, and I forgot to ask.
Okay, that's fair.
I would assume this is one of those things where like if you're in the market, you've already been called.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already been called, you should start making phone calls.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah. And beyond that, they're kind of tight-lipped about details.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like among everything in the VW empire that kind of shares the same platform as the Urus. So we're talking the Bentayga, the Urus, the Cayenne Coupe, the RSQ8, and I guess to a certain extent the European spec Touareg. They're all on the same platform. Mm. I don't know, man. I feel like the RSQ8 and the Cayenne Coupe both kind of pull off the coupe SUV kind of a thing a little better than everything else with which they share a platform. Especially the RSQ8. I like the RSQ8's looks much more than the Urus.
The Audi Q8, RSQ8, SQ8, whatever those trims are.
Yeah.
I think are like some of the best looking SUVs ever made because they are so low and so wide and have such a ridiculous like squat proportion with Audi's like very Vorsprung-Technik design language.
Yeah.
Like it looks like $1 billion. It looks so good.
Yeah.
And it's the same idea, like with the same powertrains as the Lamborghini products, just more buttoned down.
Yeah.
Like I think like if you want to have like a gangster SUV, but not be super flamboyant, but a little flamboyant that people will notice, but not like in a shouty way. Like that's the way to go.
Yeah, the RSQ8 is definitely more of an if you know kind of a dealio, more so than the Urus. The Urus is like way more fucking shouty.
Yeah, the Urus is way more shouty. It is like the big Gucci bag with the logo plastered over it, right? It's just like this is a big, awesome fashion icon thing. But that's not to say it's a bad product. It is a Lamborghini. It looks like a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
And allegedly drives like one. I have not
Probably
driven
gonna
it.
be fast.
I can't speak to it, but like I have no reason to doubt it.
Yeah.
It's going to be ridiculously fast, and like does stupid excellent grip things.
Yeah.
It'll probably be very good.
Probably.
I'm looking forward to actually checking one out long term. Not long term. For longer than a 10-minute look.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's move on. Nick, you also went to an event this week.
I did.
Actually, before we do that,
Okay.
can we talk about your and Jeff's means of conveyance there?
Certainly. So, Jeff, dear friend of Double Clutch and occasional guest on this podcast, we initially had the plan to take...
Oh, initially, and you copped out.
I did not cop out.
Okay.
So, I was trying to rope Subaru's PR guy into taking his absolutely mint Honda CRX there.
Okay.
I was also trying to rope our dear friend Jeff into taking his Mr. 2 there.
Yeah.
And I was going to take my NA Miata.
Yeah. For those who might not be familiar with parlance, our friend Jeff Wilson has a like gorgeous, like immaculate spec, like very early 86 Toyota MR2.
Yes.
Which we affectionately call Mr. 2.
Absolutely. Subaru's PR guy, obviously having to represent the brand, did not take a CRX, as cool as that would have been for us to take our 80s, 90s ship boxes there.
Yeah.
Icons.
Sport compact icons.
Icons.
Like, let's not like belittle them. Isn't it funny how like we call everything ship boxes? Hey, Addy, can you move your ship box in reference to his Ferrari?
Absolutely.
Move your ship box. But like, and now here I am trying to defend these like combined value of $10,000 cars.
Absolutely. Okay, that's underselling it.
That's
maybe
underselling it.
20 grand. Maybe 20 grand.
Like 30. Let's face it. Like you have a nice Miata.
Probably.
Jeff has a very nice MR2.
Absolutely.
And the CRX is actually worth some money these
Oh
days.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's not the point. Move on.
So our friend at Subaru, he obviously had to represent the brand. I think he took his corporate demo, which is a BRZ or a WRX of some sort. It's pretty sweet. Jeff is the one who copped out. He did not take his MR2.
Boo!
So I was like, why the hell am I going to take my NA Miata when I'm going to be the only person there with my 90s icon?
Just to be a cool guy. I rolled up to the Lamborghini event in my old 535 and the valets loved it.
Could they start it up?
No.
Could they move it to the parking spot?
When it was already running when I dropped it off with them, it was fine.
Cool.
But then when they went to bring it to me, they couldn't do it. And I just shot the shit with them, bitching about Volkswagen clutches.
They couldn't just like clutch in and enter the ignition key.
No, it's because I have two keys and they couldn't figure out which one was which.
Oh, so it's your fault.
No.
Oh.
Because the thing is two keys. One is like the nice BMW key, and the other one is the one that actually used to start the thing.
Oh.
And they didn't clue into that. That's all it was.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Anyway, so I did not take my Miata to the Subaru event, but I did take my press car, which is a 2024 Range Rover Sport.
Which is beautiful. It is the same colorway as the Jaguar F-Type I had last year, the Giola Green. Oh my god,
dude,
it's so
I'm in
stunning.
love with it.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to admit that the color combination, which is meme spec, as you so eloquently put it.
Why does everyone keep... I said that one time, and then Rush has made it a running joke in our group chat that I hate everything that other people like because I'm a dirty hipster shitbag.
Are you a dirty hipster shitbag?
Like, yes, he's not wrong, but now anything that's like the classy green on tan or green on brown colorway that's becoming like the thing to have, I automatically hate it because other people like it. I liked it first, so fuck every single one of you.
You know what? Just for that, I'm going to wear green on tan tomorrow into the office.
Man, I gotta be like that.
Anyway, I'm not sure the color combination is clouding my judgment with the Range Rover Sport, but I am absolutely in love with it.
It might be because I drove Ben's Range Rover Sport last year, and his was like the dark gray on black or black on black, like some sort of like quintuple dark color scheme that's like so common on these things. So everyone gets these in black or white. That's it. If you want it a color, you're done.
It was a primer gray on, I want to say, a red interior with black wheels, which was the exact same spec as my Range Rover Sport plug-in hybrid press car that I had maybe a couple months after.
That's quite possible. It was something like not super memorable.
They were pretty much twins.
Yeah, and I remember not being nuts about it. Like, it was nice. It's a Range Rover. It's nice. Yeah, it's a wonderful car, but I wasn't in love with it compared to like the experience of the big body Ranges.
Yeah. Well, you're Mr. Fancy, so nothing but the long wheelbase will do for you.
Big one. But yeah, I remember thinking, like, I wasn't like, because I drove there in a big Range Rover, and then I got into a little Range Rover, and I'm like, not nuts about it.
Well, this one's still kind of,
yours,
still,
I love because of what it looks like. I think it's just a bewitching color combo.
Yes.
Sorry to cut you off. Go on.
It is absolute. It's beautiful, and funny enough, Jeff and I were actually Jeff was on this event as well, and he and I were sort of remarking on the Range Rover's appearance. I wasn't a fan of this refresh. Mm-hmm. I feel like the front end is perhaps a little too flat, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
But
it doesn't. What do you mean?
So it just looks like the front end kind of ends abruptly. It looks like a wall.
Okay.
But this particular Sport, it has kind of a lip kit going on, plus some bronze accents, and I think that adds a little depth. It kind of spices up the front end a little bit.
It also helps that it's not black or primer gray.
Of course. But yeah, this so it's Gaiola green.
Is it Gaiola or Giola? I thought it was Giola. I have not heard anyone say it, so I am not an authority, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just would have thought it was Giola.
Giola? Gaiola? I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't heard this pronounced either, so I'm just going by what you said. I think I pronounced it wrong earlier this week, so I figured, you know what, you're probably right.
I don't know, like, dude, you're just as much of a linguist as I am. Like,
absolutely.
Wait, no, you went to school for this.
I am supposed to make words for a living.
Okay.
Anyway, this isn't the two-tone color combo, so you do get a bit of extra green up top on the roof. It's also not rolling on.
It's not on the huge wheels.
Yeah. It's not on the huge 23-inch matte black wheels. It's got 22s on there.
Only 22s?
Only 22s. Which, honestly, considering how big they are, it rides very well.
Yeah.
And you do get a bit more sidewall with the 22s versus the 23s.
Yeah, a tiny bit versus none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still have that visual presence with the 22s that you don't get with the base 21s.
Yeah.
So it looks
baller. It's still baller.
It looks fucking baller, and it rides extremely well.
Yeah. Land Rover's really good about that. They're really good at taking huge wheels and tuning out the secondary vibrations that come with them. Yeah. Because, like, I noticed that, like, in the BMW XM, that was on 23s. Mm-hmm. And, like, it's weird. Like, it rode well over big things. Like, it would just, like, make a train track disappear. Yeah. But, like, little ripples in the pavement, it would just shudder through the body. Just because of, like, how huge and gigantic those wheels were. And it just wasn't accounted for. Land Rover's really good at, like, dialing that in perfectly.
It gets a little choppy, a little noisy when you're going over concrete versus asphalt. Yeah. But otherwise, it rides extremely well. Mm-hmm. I covered about maybe 250-ish kilometers between here in Toronto and Shannonville, which is where the Subaru event was. This thing just gobbles up the miles. Yeah. It made that trip into nothing. Yeah. And I mentioned this earlier in the week to my wife. I actually don't mind sitting in traffic with this thing. Yeah. It's just
a nice place to sit.
It's just so scrumptious inside. Like, I want to lick everything inside.
Yeah. There's like all the surfaces, all the controls, every touch point is so delicious and nice and curated. And it just feels sexy.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. And like I got the same experience from like the big Range Rover we had last year that we took up to Cobble Beach. Yep. Right? It's just like 3-hour drive, nothing. Absolutely. It just disappears. Or like when I had it for the week, like just sitting in traffic, I like, okay, great. Like, can you actually stay stopped? Because this is such a nice place to sit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So back to this this Sport. It's got the P440 powertrain, so
that's straight six.
Straight six,
right? Which I'm actually very, very curious about because I like straight sixes, and I've never driven a Landy with one of these engines.
That's right, because the SV we had last year, that was a
as a BMW V8 motor.
Yeah, I mean, best engine on the planet,
best of both worlds,
absolutely. But this inline six is quite smooth. It's got about a little over like 400 and change horsepower. It's got enough to get this big. It's more than enough to get this big behemoth moving. I'm not sure if you noticed this with the SV we had last year, but I noticed this with the PHEV. The start-stop isn't particularly smooth.
It's not the smoothest. BMW's never been great about that.
Yeah.
As much as I love them, that like they still have a little bit of work to do on that front. Yeah, like even the 7 that I had last year, that was like their flagship, like the absolute toppest of top shelf vehicles. Yeah. Like the stop-start on that was annoying. I noticed it, and it was annoying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and this one, this being JLR's engine, the Ingenium inline six. I still had the same complaints about the start-stop system. Like, you do get a bit of a judder when you get on the gas too soon from a stoplight or even in traffic.
Yeah, sometimes it gets confused. It's trying to like throw itself in first and also like start the engine at the same time, and it just it needs a second to figure it out.
Yeah, and that's like the one nitpick I have with this whole powertrain, because the rest of it is just so good. It's so punchy. It sounds really, really good. And would you believe that I'm getting under 10 liters per 100K with this thing?
Bitch, what?
Yeah.
That's so good.
That's insane. Dude, I average like 9.7 liters per 100K.
9.7 in like that thing.
In this thing. Granted,
and granted, it's not a big Range Rover.
Yeah.
But like the big Range Rover is huge. The little Range Rover is still like large.
Yeah.
And you're doing less than 10.
Yeah.
Average.
Yeah.
Including city shit.
My commute's...
Your commute's mostly highway, but there's still some shitty shit in there.
There's a fair bit of stop and go.
That's so good.
Yeah. It's the fuel economy alone with this engine has blown me away.
That's
like
so
9.7. That's insane.
I was thinking this like when they had like the huge V8 executive spec Rangy last year. Like, I wonder like what a short straight six, like relatively base.
Yeah.
Relatively plebeian spec, if there is such a thing.
Yeah.
Range Rover would be like, because I'd actually be very curious about that with this straight six.
Yeah.
With the shorter wheelbase. Like, and your Sport is like pretty close to that idea.
It is. Well, the PHEV I had last year, that's a bit of a cheater. I got I think I averaged 7.8 liters per 100K in that thing, which admittedly is really fucking good.
Excellent.
For a massive SUV. But that did have the PHEV advantage. But, this thing, it's not hard to get this thing under 10.
Yeah, and it's not a PHEV. It's not it is a mild hybrid, but it's not doing the full hybrid thing. You don't plug it in. You never have to think about that. It's just good at that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just so easy to get good mileage out of this thing, and that's the one thing that's really blown me away with this thing.
That's so impressive. That's the magic of the straight six.
Yeah,
right. You get that that nice, broad torque spread that feels premium and effortless.
Yep.
And you get the nice smooth harmonics, and you get a nice engine tone.
God, it sounds so good.
Without having to try all that hard.
Yeah.
And then you incorporate a mild hybrid system into it like everyone else is doing on their V8s, and all of a sudden you're kicking their asses.
Yeah.
That's... God, they're good.
Yeah. It pains me because I wouldn't want to commit to this thing, past its warranty period, but, fuck.
Why not?
If I were... Because it's a Range Rover.
Why not?
It's a Range Rover. But, fuck. If I were releasing this thing, I would be hard-pressed to pick, anything else over it. Like a GLS, a cute it wouldn't even compete with the GLS. It's more like a GLE.
What about an X5? This is the thing we keep coming back to. The X5 is a phenomenal product, especially the X5 PHEV that you have.
God.
It was a fucking amazing car.
I know, that's the thing, but like
granted, the Range is sexier. It has
Yes.
more presence. It's got just
Absolutely.
more stylized. I don't know that I would say it drives better. It drives different. It drives. I don't think it's stretch to say it drives nicer. It's slicker. It's smoother. It drives nicer. I don't think that's a stretch to say.
if I were committing to one of these big body SUVs, like in the long run, I'd probably go for the X5 PHEV. Like simply based on the merit that it's such a good all rounder.
Okay.
But it's just so hard to argue against the Range Rover's presence, like the Range Rover Sport's presence.
Yeah.
It
just like it's a Range Rover. You're all up in that like it's a statement.
Yeah.
Like that's
absolutely
to parrot the salesman's from Mad Men who was trying to sell Don Draper his first Cadillac. Like no. Like you arrive in a Cadillac.
Yeah.
It's about making a statement.
Yeah. And funny enough, when I when I rolled up to the to the event at Shannonville, full disclosure for those who may not be quite as local as we are, Shannonville is a small town. It's about 2.5 hours from Toronto.
Sorry, did you say Toronto?
Toronto.
With a hard T.
Toronto.
Where are you from?
Do you not?
That's a soft T.
Do you say Toronto?
Yeah, Toronto. Honestly,
Okay.
and like the real move is like the first T should be soft as well. It should be CH Toronto.
Okay. We'll
Toronto. Like that's how you can tell someone's not from here. It's like, oh, I like Toronto. I was like, no, you don't. Shut up.
We'll put a pin in this and discuss this off mic. But like, even when I arrived to this event, like even a handful of these Subaru guys who were also car guys, they were like, holy fuck, who the hell rolled up in this thing? It's a fucking baller.
Yeah. It's so nice.
Yeah.
And like that's what Range Rover does.
Yeah.
It exudes that presence of like, yo, this guy fucks.
Yeah.
Like it just looks really, really gangster.
Yeah.
Without being, and especially yours being that it's green instead of like black or white. Yeah. It's like super classy.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm absolutely smitten with this thing. Such a
nice.
lovely SUV.
Very good. So why don't you tell us about what you drove it to?
Okay. So I drove this to a track day that Subaru Canada hosted. They are making a big fuss about their BRZ TS and the WRX RS.
What does TS stand for? Is it like track special?
TS, on the BRZ in particular, stands for Tuned by STI. So, what the BRZ TS isn't is a BRZ STI. What it is...
Hold on.
So, in Japan, they've had the TS moniker for maybe about 10 years now, and they've applied it to... they've been applying it to the BRZ consistently for about a decade now.
Okay.
No powertrain upgrades, so it's still got the same 2.4 liter normally aspirated FA24, which is a lovely engine. 224 horsepower. 228 horsepower. 184 pound-feet of torque.
Okay.
In a very lightweight package. What the TS
How much does it weigh?
moniker,
Like 2,800 pounds?
It's pretty light. It's around 3. It's
around 3.
It's around 3,000 pounds.
600 pounds heavier than a Miata.
Yes.
I just want to clear that up. Proceed.
Yes, it is heavier than an ND Miata, but it is lighter than most other sport coupes on the market. Anyway, what the TS badge denotes on the BRZ is a handful of suspension and chassis upgrades.
Okay.
So you get gold Brembos at all four corners, and bigger rotors.
Okay.
I kind of like the gold rotors because it's kind of like a little nod to like the Hawkeye and the Blob-Eye STIs.
Yeah, it
which
pops
also
off
have,
nicely. Yeah.
Yeah. You get Michelin Pilot Sport 4 summer tires.
Okay.
You get 18-inch wheels that Subaru says are dark gray.
Okay. They're black.
They're black.
Yeah.
To me,
just like the Miata.
To me, they look
dark
black.
gunmetal wheels are black.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. You get a number of visual tweaks, so you get blue stitching and blue accents inside.
Ooh.
You get a red push to start button with an STI logo on there.
Okay.
You get an STI logo in the center console.
Nick, you're losing me.
Sorry, in the gauge cluster. And for me, the headline here is actually the fucking dampers this thing gets.
Okay.
It gets adaptive dampers.
Okay. Oh, okay.
That aren't electronic. They're mechanical adaptive dampers.
Like the Öhlins in the Volvo V60 that I loved.
Kind of. But you don't adjust them manually, unlike the Volvo V60.
Okay.
So basically, the front dampers, they have two oil passages. They have a low frequency and a high frequency oil passage.
Okay.
Under lighter loads.
Yeah.
So let's say you're taking off from a stoplight, or you're taking you're taking a corner like fairly gingerly.
Yeah, you're just putzing around.
Yeah. The dampers do their thing in their low frequency range. But when you're on the track and you're taking a corner hard and
they're getting pounded, they're seeing a lot of forces and a lot of just a lot of different forces happening on them quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or if you take a bunch of potholes, a bunch of rough pavement, choppy shit, whatever, as the piston in the damper moves, it opens up a second high frequency channel on its own, which basically adds more damping force, more oil, more lubricant, whatever, to sort of cushion the higher impact loads.
Huh.
So you get double the lubrication without, and you have the advantages of an adaptive damper over various surfaces without the complexity of electronic shit.
Electronic actuation of that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's actually kind of clever.
So is it just kind of like... Sorry, I'm going to get really nerdy on you, and you probably won't be able to answer this, and that's okay. So is it just like thermally based, where as it gets hotter, it opens up?
It's force.
Just force.
Force.
Just fucking, like, just speed of the piston. And, like, once it exceeds a certain point, it moves over to the next thing.
Yep.
Huh.
It's kind of clever.
Okay.
And so with this, Subaru does say, like, it does benefit on-road comfort a little bit.
Okay.
And you can kind of tell that it's a little more compliant than the standard BRZ.
Okay.
And obviously, like on the track, you honestly,
what's this thing like on the track?
I wish I could tell you, dude, because I basically got like maybe 3 or 4 warm-up laps in with each car before the skies like fucking opened up for like 2 hours straight.
Oh.
So it literally rained on my parade with these 2 cars.
Sucks so much.
It does.
But hold on, like, why'd they stop you if it was raining?
It wasn't even rain. It was pouring.
Oh, like actually hard to see, like pouring.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It sucked.
That sucks.
It fucking sucks, dude.
Like, it was like drizzling here a little bit.
Yeah. It was fucking pouring in Shannonville. I had the worst time shooting pictures on that thing in the fucking rain. I got drenched. My camera got drenched. The car got drenched. It was not a good time. I was so looking forward to this. I was so looking forward to ripping the BRZ TS and the WRX RS on the track, and we got rained the fuck out.
That fucking sucks. I'm sorry, dude. As
much as I want to tell you all about how these new chassis and suspension upgrades are great in the BRZ TS, I literally cannot because we got rained out.
Ugh.
But we did also spend some time in the WRX RS.
Thank you. That was my next question.
That one doesn't really see as much in-depth chassis upgrades as the BRZ TS, but but you do get a good amount of like added performance hardware that you don't get over the standard WRX.
Okay. Yeah, because like from what I understand, when I like very sleepily glanced over the press release when it was unveiled like a month ago, or whatever it was, it basically is like a bunch of the like top shelf performance shit on the highest level WRX, but without all the luxury accoutrements of the WRX of like the whatever it is, the limited or whatever.
Yes and no.
Please correct me.
Yeah. So it gets the same 6-piston Brembo brake setup as the previous gen STI.
Gangster. Those were the cheapest. Like, dude, 6-piston Brembo calipers.
Fuck.
On what was a $35,000 car is fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's insane. More like 40, but
either way,
that's nuts. So you get the 6-pot Brembos up front, cross-drilled rotors, and you get 2-piston 2-pot Brembo brake calipers in the back as well.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool because not a lot of car companies do like matching big brake kits up front and out back. Like on your ND, for instance, you have the nice calipers up front, you have these shitty ones out back.
They're not shitty, they're fine.
They don't match the fronts.
They do the job.
At least Subaru takes care to match the fronts.
Yeah, because the car's overweight. The ND doesn't need it. It's fine.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm biased.
Yes. So, in addition to the bigger brakes, you get 19-inch wheels with Bridgestone Potenza S007 tires. Fun fact, that is the same tire setup as various flavors of the Aston Martin DB11.
Okay, cool.
And a couple of various Ferraris.
Of course, Aston Martin would put a 007 tire on their car.
Oh, it's James Bond.
It's a little bit on the nose, don't you think?
That is a discussion for another day. As a James Bond and an Aston Martin fan, I am not going to get on that soapbox today. Anyway, so Subaru did also rework the steering and various suspension components. Don't bother asking me what exactly they went into great detail on because I'm completely forgetting.
What are they doing exactly? In specific detail.
I forgot.
Man, you suck.
Yeah, I know, right? I will say this: the WRX. I don't know if this is like a bit of a placebo effect, but I think Subaru isn't entirely full of shit with the steering. I feel like the steering on the RS does feel perhaps a little bit more accurate, a little bit more communicative than the standard WRXs.
Okay,
it's a little faster.
That would be nice because like. My biggest takeaway from the WRX, like the couple times I've driven them, was like, all right, the chassis is fine, the engine's fine, the steering is weird, like too quick, too overboosted, too artificial.
Yeah, I didn't get that sense in the WRX, in the RS.
Okay.
I really wish they didn't go to 19s on this thing.
Are they like nice 19s? Are they like forged BBSs or anything? Like say on an ND?
I don't think so. They're just like standard 19-inch wheels.
Okay.
I don't believe they're forged. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe they're forged. Forged, flow form, whatever. So with these suspension tweaks, Subaru does say ride quality is supposedly improved.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that because I wasn't a fan of how the standard WRX rides. It's a little firm. Mm-hmm. It's a little choppy.
Okay.
And these 19s don't help.
I bet.
Yeah. So the official party line was that they needed to upgrade the 19s for bigger
just to clear the
brake
brakes.
Clearance.
Yeah.
But like the previous gen STI, the base models had 18s.
Yeah.
So does the standard WRX that also has 18s.
Yeah.
So like just fucking keep the 18s, man.
It might. I've seen this where like it's not even a rim diameter thing. It's just like a design of the wheel where there's just a little too much material on like a portion of it that doesn't clear the calipers.
Are you telling me that Subaru does not have a stockpile of the 18-inch BBSs from the STI?
They can't bring out an old wheel. That'd be weird. And people would rip them apart for that, and you know it. I feel like Subaru can't win. Hey, here's a WRX sedan. Why? They should do a hatch. Hey, here's a WRX hatch. It's dumb. Where's the sedan? It's supposed to be a sedan. Hey, Here's the sedan. Oh, it's so dumb. Hey, here, like, it's just like they're always getting ripped apart. They can't fucking win. And if they rolled out used wheels for this WRX RS, they would be destroyed.
Probably. Yeah, okay. I see that. But
even then, it's not just a rim diameter thing. Like, for example, on my ND Miata, to which I'm heavily biased, you can't just put any 17 on it to clear the Brembos.
That's understandable.
Yeah. Like, it has to be, like, designed in such a way where there's space to clear it.
But, like, okay. And I'm putting my on my Subaru nerd hat right now, and shit's about to get real fucking pedantic real quick. Subaru has recycled old wheel designs before on other models. They've put, like, fucking Outback wheels on Imprezas before.
Is there a reason why you didn't ask them while you were at the event?
I didn't want to look like too much of a nerd.
Is there a reason why you didn't, like, just quietly pull somebody aside and ask them?
No.
You suck.
I didn't want to look too much like a nerd. Okay, I already rolled
you're
up
supposed to
in
be
this
the nerd.
thing.
They're impressed. You ask an engineer a nerdy question, they're like, "Yo, this guy's like me. We can be friends now."
I already asked them, like, "Hey, okay." First of all, I showed up wearing my 2TB STI blip shift shirt.
Okay,
which was a little on the nose. I see this now, but I thought it was kind of neat at first. Like, oh, it's on the nose. And I did ask them, like, various questions, like, throughout the presentation to flex my super nerd knowledge. But no, it did not cross my mind to ask them why they didn't recycle the old STI BBS design.
Okay.
I figured I'd spare them the... honestly, it didn't cross my mind.
Okay, that's fair. Whatever. We're not all perfect. No. That's fine.
Anyway, moving out of the pedantic shit, the WRX RS also gets some really fucking sweet Recaros.
Okay.
Very
like the ND Miata.
Yes. It also gets a sunroof delete.
Okay, so lighter and lower center of gravity.
So light. Yeah. So, meaningful upgrades that, you know, if you take them bit by bit, they don't really seem like much, but when you shove them all into a package, into an overall package, it's a little sharper. It's a little more enthusiast focused than the standard WRX.
Okay.
And it's kind of cool.
That's cool. That's kind of echoes what I've been hearing from people who didn't get rained out, who have driven them.
Yeah.
Like hard. Or like, no, it's actually, this is kind of the car we were looking for.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's especially interesting when you look at the positioning of these two cars in their respective lineups. So because the RS is not the expensive one. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's very different than what they're doing in the US. Like, in the US, they're calling this the TR, which is short for tuner ready, and I'm going to spare the pedantic shit this time around, but Cliff's Notes, TR with a bunch of expensive enthusiast shit does not equal tuner ready.
Yeah.
Here in Canada, they're structuring it a bit differently. Basically, the RS is the WRX RS is the mid-level trim. So it slots between the stick Sport Tech and the top spec GT.
Right. And that's kind of what I was trying to get earlier, is that it's not, like, it's kind of takes some of the fun bits from the top shelf one, hardens it.
Yeah.
And loses some of the frills it doesn't need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's about $100 off the stick Sport Tech, so you do trade things like the sunroof, heated rear seats, built-in nav, whatever, for all these upgrades.
Okay, like whatever.
Yeah,
you don't need it. Like most modern car sunroofs suck.
Yep.
I don't sit in the back seat.
I don't like sunroofs. I don't particularly care for heated rear seats, and if I ever have to use nav, I'm plugging in my phone to.
Yeah. That's the thing. My car has nav, and I use my phone anyway.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And doubly so with the BRZ. Like, the TS does kind of slot towards the high end of the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about $36,000 to start. The WRX RS is just over 40. And the the BRZ TS, that the only way to go is one up to the automatic only Sport Tech.
Right.
So it's a bit. So these So these two do have the value proposition going for them.
Right. This is like, they're both kind of like the one you want. If you care about driving, this is the one you want for sure.
Yeah.
Because like it has all of the shit that you could ask for.
Yeah.
And deletes all the shit that you wanted out of the way that drives up the cost. Like if you care about a driver spec WRX or BRZ, it's these.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool they're still paying attention to that.
It is.
Like it shows like there's still like care about like that enthusiast crowd. The fact that they offer the manual in so many of their own cars at all is like really telling of where they're at.
They don't anymore.
I'm sorry, what?
No, but previously you could get a stick Impreza, a stick Crosstrek.
You get a stick Crosstrek?
Yeah.
That's kind of sick.
Yeah, not anymore though.
Oh.
They've killed the stick in pretty much all of their mainstream products. But it's still alive in the BRZ and the WRX.
Okay. That's better than nothing, I guess.
It is. Like, I'll take it. I mean, in my limited track time with these two things, kind of prefer the BRZ.
Okay.
Like, I like in terms of like a fun car you can ring out, it's just so much more rewarding to kind of dance with the BRZ.
Yeah, well, because it is lighter and smaller in rear drive and more playful. Like, it's inherently more dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, what really kills the WRX for me is the power band. Like, it's a lot smoother than what it used to be. It's a lot better than before. But that fucking red line, man. 6,000 RPM.
Is it really just $6,000?
It's just
That's
$6,000.
way too low. Remember, like, those, like... I hate that I just said, "Remember when." I hate that about myself right now.
Yep.
But now that I've already said it, remember when EJs would spin up to like 7,500.
Yep. Those were the days.
Like, man, like, and they sound so, like, if you like that, especially like with a decent exhaust, they sound so fucking good doing it.
You do get a bit of the boxer rumble with the WRX RS.
Yeah, but I don't want the rumble. I want the high-end, like, deliciousness that Porsche does. And Subaru was, like, kind of, like, getting in on that. In, like, the late 90s, early 2000s, they were, like, kind of touching on that. With, like, a hot EJ, like, man, they sounded real fucking good.
Yeah, they did. And
they're not there. It's a shame that, like, emissions controls have kind of, like, destroyed almost all.
Yeah.
Except for the ND Miata high-revving engines.
But yeah, like, the BRZ is just so much more rewarding to ring out. Like, as punchy as the WRX is, just that 6,000 RPM redline just kills it for me.
Yeah.
It comes hard, it comes fast.
Yeah, like, it hits you. Like, you're constantly hitting the rev limiter because you're not expecting it to be there, and it's there. And you're like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Like, I had that. The only vehicle I've had that in is, like, the manual Mazda 3 that I had a couple years ago, where I was constantly beating the rev limiter because I expected there'd be 1,000 more in it because it was so smooth and it was still pulling. Yeah. And it just shuts off.
Yep.
It's like, man, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. The WRX is like that, especially on the track. That low redline really kills it for you.
Yeah.
But the BRZ is just so much more fun.
Yeah.
And a lot of the drivers on the previous wave before us, like, they were coming within like 2 or 1.5 seconds of the WRX's lap time.
That's a long,
over Shannonville
that's a
with the
long
BRZ
track. That's a long, fast track.
And like the fact that
like with that power disadvantage is impressive.
Like it really is. But yeah, no, that was my day yesterday. It got fucking rained out, so unfortunately I couldn't really enjoy these things to their fullest potential.
Couldn't get all the way into it. That's kind of a bummer. But like, we should have these to review on a longer term later this summer.
We absolutely will. We will have these as like fully detailed road tests, and we will also get the WRX GT, which is their new fully loaded trim level. It's basically the same as the automatic Sport Tech last year, but now
with the stick.
Sorry?
But now with the stick?
No stick. But it does get adaptive dampers now.
I don't care. Whatever.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. Moving on.
Yes, we are running a little short on time, so why don't you why don't we round out with your press car this week?
Yeah.
And then we'll call it.
Okay, sounds good. So this week, I am driving a 2024 Volkswagen GTI, one of the Mark 8s that has been so maligned by everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lesser GTI. It's not as direct. It's not as connected. The infotainment is hot garbage.
Spoiler alert, as a Mark 7 GTI owner, I fucking love the Mark 8.
Sorry, what?
I love the Mark 8.
Really?
It's great.
Really?
Yeah, it's
really?
It's a meaningful improvement aside from the infotainment.
Why you gotta be taking this away from me? Because I was gonna come in all like, "Yo, it's time for one of Nathan's shitty hot takes. The Mark 8 is pretty good.
It is pretty good.
You're fucking just taking this away from me. Why you gotta be like that?"
Okay, forget I said anything.
No, you already did.
That's what you got for interrupting me with every fucking intro.
I mean, that's fair. I deserve it. So I think the Mark 8 is pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
I'm a fan. I think it is good. I think the infotainment is pretty bad. I don't want to get too far into it because this is a horse that we have beaten so dead that it's just a pile of jelly now.
Yes.
I was willing to give it a pass the few times that I've tried it in short stints. I was like, no, this is not that bad. If you give it a bit of time to learn it, this is okay. And now that I've spent some days with it, it is not that good.
Yes.
I feel like it's not super intuitive. There's a lot that needs to be learned about it that I don't think should need to be learned. Mm-hmm. I don't think it is bad. I think as an owner, if you take the time to actually understand and live with it and set up your presets the way you like, it's very good. It's snappy, it's quick, it's responsive, it's attractive. It's not bad. It's just could be better. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm going to park that because we've killed this horse.
There's a learning curve where there shouldn't be a learning curve.
Yeah, the learning curve is a wall. Once you climb the wall, it's fine, but it's a wall.
Excellent. We have aired our grievances with regards to the infotainment.
There we go.
Do you want to make any comments about the haptic feedback buttons?
No, I don't.
Excellent. Moving on.
Yeah. I think the Mark 8, like, since its debut and, like, even, like, I think it looks like $1 million. Mm-hmm. It looks so good. I love what they did with the sculpted headlight design. I like the rear end treatment. I like the profile. Like, the Mark 8 is the best looking GTI fucking ever. Ever. It looks so good. I'm not nuts about Mark 7s. I'm sorry, Nicholas. I know you have a Mark 7. I know you're very fond of it. It is my least favorite GTI.
Well, you're my least favorite GTI.
Well, that's because you're a bad person.
Okay.
Visually, it's my least favorite GTI. I think the Mark 8, with what they did with the sculpting headlights and stuff, like, I think it looks fucking terrific. Mm-hmm. The interior looks good. It feels good. Mm-hmm. I like that they offer, like, dumb shit, like being able to get, like, the top shelf performance trim, and then, like, no cost option, you can get the cloth seats.
Oh, I will take the shitty seats. Thank you.
But they're not shitty.
No, they're not. They're fucking plaid.
They're plaid. Like, they have a really cool plaid pattern with, like, little, like, faux suede inserts and, like, adjustable lumbar, and they look cool. There's great bolstering. Like they're cool chairs.
Are they memory seats too?
No.
Oh.
This car for $43,000.
I must be misremembering because
dollars is surprisingly basic. Because it doesn't have memory seats. Mm-hmm. It does have adaptive cruise, but it doesn't have lane centering. Like, there's a lot of, like, little shit that, like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But overall, as a package, I really like it. And, like, I got into this kind of skeptical because I'm going to keep this short because we've beaten this horse dead before. Yep. I adored the GLI, the Jetta GLI sedan that I had. Yep. That thing was fucking terrific. I loved it. Like, it drove great. It had, like, a big throaty exhaust sound. It was easy to use. The infotainment made sense. It was cheap. Mm-hmm. I think it was $32,000. I fucking loved it. And I had John's Mark 8, like, new generation Golf R for a night.
Which you hated.
Which I hated. I took it out for like an hour and a half. I did photos of it for him. And I parked it and drove my own 535i home because I fucking hated it. It was so sterile and bland and it felt slow. I hated it.
Yep.
So I was like, I came into this GTI like kind of trepidatious. I want to like it. And I haven't driven one. And now I've driven one and I actually like it a lot. It's fucking terrific. in a way.
In a way. Okay.
It's one of those things, and I've heard this before. There's a good family friend of mine. Guy's name is Dino. You'd like him. He's a really cool guy. He's had a bunch of really cool shit. Like his daily driver for a long time was an Alfa Romeo GTV.
That's sweet.
This guy's a cool guy. And he decided a few years ago, like, I'm going to stop trying to do, like, classic dailies all the time because it's so stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the normal thing and get the normal performance daily. I'm going to get a Volkswagen GTI.
Mm-hmm.
And for, like, the first 2 months, he adored it. This car is comfortable, it's quiet, it's efficient, it drives great, it handles well, it's practical, it does everything you could possibly want a car to do. And 2 months later, he came to hate it. Because it was perfect. Because it was everything you could possibly want a performance car to do. It was comfortable, quiet, soft, safe, sterile, easy on gas, totally uneventful, and soulless.
Okay.
And I kind of get that. Like, when I get into this car, and I look at it in the grand scheme of all of the cars that we drive, and most of what we drive is crossovers, SUVs, trucks. In that frame of reference, is fucking terrific.
Yep.
It's so good. I don't know why you would possibly want anything else.
It's like we talked about this a couple of episodes ago in relation to the Mazda CX-30 and Mazda 3.
Bingo. It's very good. It's like, it has great front seat room, great rear seating room, lots of cargo. It's fantastic. I'm getting 7.5 liters per 100 in this thing. It's fucking stupidly good on gas.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it handles well. It makes the cool guy noises. It's a lot quicker than its numbers convey. 240 horsepower, 270 foot-pounds, and it feels like they are showing up to work and then some.
Oh, yeah.
On cheap gas.
Yeah.
VW specifies only cheap gas, which is so impressive.
Yep.
And I like that it's like a proper manual transmission, and like, it's kind of ironic that this is the last year of the manual in the GTI, because it was Volkswagen that started the death knell for the manual in the first place with their DSG transmission.
Yep.
Like, remember the Mark V GTI?
Yeah.
When that came out, like, not quite 20 years ago, with the DSG trans. Yep. Everyone's like, yo, this, maybe, hold up, maybe this is better than the manual. Right? And before that, every attempt at automating a manual sucked. Right? Porsche, BMW had their Steptronic thing, which was just like electronically controlled manual shifting points in an automatic transmission.
Yes.
And they were slushy and slow to respond.
Yep.
And like, on the exotic side, you had like Ferrari fucking around with the F1 transmissions, which was just a manual being shifted by a robot, and the clutch being done by a robot, and those were dog shit.
Yep. Like,
awful. They ruined those cars. I don't know how anyone thought it was a good idea. They're fucking terrible. Up until that point, everything that wasn't an automatic or manual sucked. And the DSG showed up and was suddenly very fucking good. Like, yo, this is a real viable alternative. This is the actual best of both worlds we've all been wanting for a long time. And so now, 20 years later, it's caught up to them and the manual is dead. Because everyone, including yourself, has said, no, you know what? The DSG is fucking better.
Well,
You have a DSG Mark 7.
I don't like Volkswagen's manual transmissions. They're rubbery and vague
and
icky.
I can't disagree with you. I can. I'm not going to. Their clutch take-up, throttle response is kind of weird. It's kind of artificial. There's a very particular rhythm they're looking for. It's not super hangy and weird. Like, I hate to go back to this, like the Challenger, or like some cars where it's like crazy delayed and artificial. Like, it doesn't feel as awkward to drive to me as the Civic Si we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yes. Yeah.
It feels more natural than that. But I very much get, like, it does have like the typical German grabby clutch thing going on, which they've tried to smooth out with, like, you know, like stop start and like kind of like anti-stall stuff where like you let out the clutch and it will raise the throttle for you.
Yeah.
They've tried to like electronic the way around it, but it still has like the weird grabby clutch thing. It's kind of numb. The shifter's not great. I don't hate it because I'm used to old cars and it feels like that.
I just don't like it.
It's not great. Like,
no.
I'm not going to say it's the best. It's not great, but it's not bad.
Like, literally everything it competes with has a better shifter.
Like,
Elantra N, Civic Si, even the fucking WRX has a better shifter than the WRX.
Okay, yes.
Sorry, than the GTI,
yeah,
in my humble opinion.
No, like, and you're not wrong. Yes, you're correct, but it's still there, and it's still. I'll take that over DSG like every day of the week, every single day of the week without blinking, because that shifter is light and kind of numb, which I don't like, but because of that, it's easy, and because the clutch take up is so light and so long and kind of numb, it's easy. And because everything is so electronically smoothed over, it's just fucking dumb and easy. It's tricky to be like perfectly smooth. It's tricky to develop that like harmonic, beautiful mechanical relationship with the machine, like say an ND Miata. But it's pretty good, where anyone can jump in it and pick it up most of the way there instantly.
Yeah, but you can do that.
So that makes it hard to fall in love with. But it's good.
But you can still do that in a Civic Si and or a WRX, which are just as easy to live with and offer a better shifter.
I disagree. Okay, I don't care. I'm used to old cars. I don't care that much about shifters. Y'all get hung up on like really short, like notchy, tight little snick shifters, like an ND Miata. And like, whatever. Like it's a stick. It's literally a stick connected to other sticks that move gears. Like I don't care that much. Be okay. Let me know what's going on. And the VW admittedly is kind of the worst at that, but it still does it. And I like that. And I like that tactility. It is the least tactile, but it still does it. And I will take that over nothing at all. And because it's very hard to explain, because like say like the Civic Si has such bad rev hang and it's otherwise good.
Yep.
Right? Like there's a number of cars that have manual transmissions, but they do one thing so badly that it takes me out of the experience.
It kills it, yeah.
The VW doesn't do that. There are parts of it that are a little awkward. It's a little tricky to be smooth with it because it has that like kind of artificial rhythm that it's looking for from you. But once you kind of get over that, you either learn it or get over it and just accept there's going to be a bit of a notch on every shift, it's fine. It's really nice. It's easy to pick up. It's easy to drive. It's stupid easy on gas. It's fun to hustle. It's easy to commute in traffic because that engine has so much torque and it's got such a flat power band.
Yeah.
Just leave it in sixth the entire time and it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it's one of the only cars where you can have adaptive cruise and a manual trans and it works. Because you can just leave it in sixth and it's fine.
Yeah.
And it's smart enough to recognize, okay, it's time to go down to fifth, and you just clutch in quick down to the fifth, and it's keep working. Little shit like that, right? So like they've made a very deliberate concession to the modern driver or non-driver, while still acknowledging the need of the enthusiast driver, and they've married it in a way that I think works pretty well in an overall package. I think the car sounds good, it drives well, it's quick. Pretty well priced, not great anymore, but pretty well priced.
Yeah.
And I'm sad to see that 6-speed trans go, because I overall quite like it. It's the one I would have. I like the Golf R. Everyone's like, yo, Golf R is sick. The GSG is so fast. I hated it. I despised it. This GTI with a 6-speed is like excellent. It is the de facto terrific practical performance daily. There's a reason why it is like the default performance car.
And I agree with everything that you said. But in the spirit of not beating a dead horse and agreeing to disagree, we will agree to disagree with regards to the shifter. I have made my thoughts abundantly clear.
And you're not wrong. I don't disagree.
It
is possibly the worst shifter on the market, but it's still a shifter. And I'll take it.
Ugh. We shall agree to disagree.
Okay, hang on. No. Because there's things like, let's go back to like the Supra Z4.
Okay.
Right? I prefer, like in that application, I would take a ZF8 over the 6-speed.
That's true. I'd take the stick.
Right. And the shifter is not what's wrong with that. The shifter on the 6-speed is great.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what's wrong with it. It's the everything else that's just kind of off.
Yeah.
Whereas the Zeta Fate is so tight and so good. It feels the whole package is developed around that, and then the 6-speed is just kind of also there. And just kind of awkward. And I feel like Volkswagen developed this 6-speed around this car. And it's they probably did, because they developed it so long ago, and it's just been like subtly updated to go along with it.
Yeah.
That it just works. It's not just the shifter. It's the everything else. And Volkswagen's got the everything else down pretty good.
Yeah.
Not my favorite, but pretty good. And for like a normal-ish performance car, there's a reason why it's the answer.
It's still hard to beat.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing else that offers that kind of blend of like practicality, that decent sense of engagement, that decent sense of fun.
That's the thing, right? Like, okay, so you go to a Civic Si.
It's not a hatchback.
It's not a hatch. It's not nearly as practical, and it's way slower.
Yeah.
You go to, say, one of the Hyundai N models. They're way harder.
Way too punishing.
Like, way harder. They're great. They're fucking awesome driver's cars, but they're way harder. They're way worse dailies.
Yeah.
The GTI kind of does it all, like, 8.5 out of 10.
The only thing that kind of comes close is probably the WRX.
Yeah.
But that still suffers the same problem as the Civic Si. It's not a hatchback.
It's not a hatch, but it is a sedan that has, like, pretty good, like, rear leg room and a huge trunk in lieu of the hatch.
Yeah.
And like, it's a physically bigger car, and also huge, yes, all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big mechanical, meaningful differentiation that is still within the same price point.
And it's interesting. And the price point of this one is interesting because this GTI tops out at 43, you said, and the WRX RS comes in at like 41.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's tricky.
It is.
That's tricky. I'd say the GTI is probably the better daily. It's quieter. It's way better on gas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, way. Like,
better tech.
That's the thing. If you want a daily, a performance daily, like the GTI is hard to top because it does everything so well. I haven't driven the WRX RS, but I'll concede it probably is more engaging.
It probably does the year-round daily thing better.
Does it? Is all-wheel drive that big of a deal? Just put decent snowies on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. Like, I know, like, the Mark 8 is kind of, like, generally shat upon by the enthusiast community, and I don't think it should be, because it is out there doing everything we want a car to do. And it's struggling because I don't know why. They're terrific cars. Like, the GTI has always been an institution. There's a reason for that. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's king of the castle for 40 years and counting.
Yeah.
And on that note, we'll still we'll still agree to disagree with regards to the GTI shifter. But on that note, that takes us to the end of our episode this week.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you all for tuning in. It's a bit of a short crew, but hey, we still managed to fill more than an hour.
Really? Are we over an hour?
We are.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know, right?
We're going to trim this down, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about a lot of good shit, and we hadn't gotten to everything.
And we haven't gone to Rush's press truck.
I know, but we can talk about that
We'll talk about that next week when he's here. I'll let him speak about it better.
Yeah.
Because he actually had a lot of really insightful things to say about it, and I would rather they just came out of him than me trying to parrot him.
Yeah, and you also have this same truck, but with a different badge.
Yeah.
Next week as
well. So
we
can both riff about it. It'll
exactly.
There we go.
We'll save it for next week. If you all wish to keep tabs on our automotive misadventures, you can do so at doubleclutch.ca on socials. Until then, we'll see you all next week.
Thanks for listening, guys. Take care, and hi, Mom.
Thanks for listening, Nathan's mom.